This July, the High-Speed Rail Administration celebrated delivering its 500 millionth passenger on Taiwan's bullet train. It was a big milestone for the HSR, but it left most Pingtung residents cold.
Many in the southern counties still recall a promise Tsai Ing-wen made on the campaign trail in 2016 that should she become president, the HSR line would be extended to Pingtung.
2 years later, plans to extend the rail are finally taking shape, but not without controversy over whether a Pingtung connection is worth the expense, with estimates of at least 60 billion Taiwan dollars. Tonight, we explore whether a rail extension is worth pursuing in our Sunday special report.
It's Friday night. Throngs of people pour into Taipei Main Station. For the Xiao siblings, it's the start of a long expedition. After an hour and a half on the high-speed rail, they arrive at Zuoying Station in Kaohsiung. But their journey is far from over. Ming-hsiao and Fang-ching walk toward the Xinzuoying railroad station.
等一下就要坐那个37分的火车。
A half hour on the train and a 10-minute ride in the family car later, the siblings are finally home. It is now midnight.
到家了，到家了，累。
An exhausting trek that takes over 3 hours. That's the fastest way home for Pingtung natives who work in Taipei. But a better alternative could be coming soon. Recently, the Ministry of Transportation and Communications published a feasibility report on building a bullet train station in Pingtung.
This land behind me is Taiwan Sugar Corporation's Liu-Kuai-Zuo farmland. The Transportation Ministry's Railway Bureau is considering using this site for a Pingtung bullet train station.
Besides this parcel of Thai sugar farmland, another site under consideration is the area adjacent to Taiwan Railway Administration's Liu-Kuai-Zuo station.
Those who haven't gone out to the countryside before wouldn't be able to understand. Medical care, education, business, regional development. These are all chronic pain points for the people of Pingtung.
According to the Transportation Ministry's feasibility study, a bullet rail link to Pingtung would see about 4,000 to 5,500 passengers a day and generate revenue reaching 1.3 billion NT a year. An expert says that's an optimistic estimate.
After extending the high-speed railway to Pingtung, they still have to set up a shuttle system for the 830,000 people living in Pingtung. It's not like you build it and all 830,000 people will come. They won't. Why? Because the people living in Donggang and Linbian could go to Zuoying Station, and that would take less time than going to this new place.
A Pingtung bullet train station would struggle to compete with Zuoying Station, which is already well connected via shuttle buses, trains, and even an express service to Kending. Central government officials say that should a Pingtung station be built, it would take at least 30 years to break even. Down south, local officials argue that public infrastructure has to advance public interests and not merely financial gain.
If public investment decisions were guided only by economic benefits or short-term profitability, and not by the contribution to long-term national planning, then the government has no need to exist. We believe that the project, in its original scope, can drive value of at least 60 billion NT in regional development.
交通建设呢是这个经济发展的必要条件，不是充分条件。
Transport infrastructure is a necessary condition for economic development. It's not a sufficient condition. Let's say that Pingtung has built up a certain industry. You have to see what industry it is. Is all the manpower coming in from outside Pingtung? If a transportation project is designed to create jobs in Pingtung, then its services should meet the needs of the people in Pingtung itself. The Taiwan Railways Administration provides basic services to Pingtung residents. Why is it that we keep trying to finance convenient services and yet disregard basic services?
One scholar thinks that if the trip to Pingtung is slow, the problem is with the TRA.
就是因为台铁它的营运真的是效率很低。
The TRA's operations are really very inefficient. Let's say I want to transfer from the HSR to the rail at Xinzuoying Station in Taichung. Sometimes I have to wait for 15 to 20 minutes. It's like going from heaven to hell.
As part of its forward-looking infrastructure development program, the government has earmarked more than 200 million NT to add trains to the Zuoying-Pingtung section. Nevertheless, the people of Pingtung still yearn for the day when a bullet train rides up to their town. Perhaps at the core, it's a longing for equality.
Back in 1977, Taiwan's first freeway opened up and ended at Fang-ching in Kaohsiung, failing to cross the Gaoping River into Pingtung. Railway electrification began in 1979, but to this day, the electrification project in Pingtung is still not complete.
Transport authorities estimate that a Pingtung HSR would rack up the high cost of 60 billion NT. The political stakes are just as high as debate continues over what the project can do to close the infrastructure gap and improve daily lives in one of Taiwan's less served regions.